How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and today I've got a very early Fl4k build for you in Borderlands 3. Of course, Borderlands 3 just came out today, and I have played so far about 10 hours or so with friends, and I plan on playing even more tomorrow. Now, I'm going to be doing builds and builds like this at the halfway point, and, once fully done, for all characters, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. As my skag takes a piss over there. And I have been playing Fl4k to start, as he was the one I was the most hyped about, and rightfully so. Although, I'll be honest with you, Mose is getting there. She's getting there. She might be the second character. We'll see. But Fl4k, with his nice, wonderful horse head that you can purchase from the Iridium shop, is a whole lot of fun. And I've got a build for you today that I have been ripping through the game with very, very effectively. Now, I've been playing the past 10 hours in 3-player and destroying everything. So if you're playing in solo, you're going to have even better mileage than I am currently. I used this exact fire pistol from level 13 all the way to like level fucking 20 something. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of show you is that when you use certain weapons, the alternate fire types actually change their scopes and all that sort of stuff. And this build works very well with close range weaponry and fire incendiary type weaponry as well. I've been using a lot of Jacob's weaponry. The Jacob's rifles are a lot of fun, as well as the Jacob's lever action shotguns, as well as, what is the other one that I've liked? Dahl as well. Dahl is a whole lot of fun. Dahl SMGs, ARs, and sniper rifles are very effective. Now, in regards to the gear, I'll just kind of start off with this. Obviously, this is going to change for a lot of you, but I'm using an effective pistol. I was using this fire pistol for a long time. Something incendiary works very well with this. You just want something very high base damage. I'm using a masher right now, which is a shotgun revolver. This is exceptional if you can manage to get one, and will rip through pretty much all of the game if you can manage to get one. I've got a legendary from the main quest. I'm not going to spoil any of the main quest stuff, but it does a ton of damage. It's a Jacob's rifle, which was something I used already, and I highly recommend using. They're just a lot of fun, in my opinion. If you enjoy using the other stuff, feel free. And then I have a Dahl SMG with shock to deal with those shields, which is very effective and very useful. I have a 2x Dahl SMG over here that rips through ammo and a lot of enemies quite easily. That works very well as well. And then in the last slot, I have a rocket launcher that does irradiation damage, which nothing is, I don't think anything is weak to it, but I don't think anything like is resistant to it either. So all in all, it's an interesting element. I'll get back to you on that one. And that's just, for when I get knocked down. Also, this thing's actually kind of cool. Here, I'll show you this to give you something to look forward to. This is my rocket launcher. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And this is my my burst action legendary rifle. That thing is a lot of fun. I only got it recently, but there's a few things to look forward to if you're progressing later on. Then I have a standard shield, a class mod that gives you a couple different things on weapon reload speed. I'll touch on this in a second. And then just an XS grenade mod. And I haven't gotten artifacts yet. I'm level 25. Still haven't gotten them. So, in regards to the skill tree, this build is going to be based around the master skill tree, the middle tree for Fl4k, as I found the most success with this one in regards to just buffing his flat damage. I tried to do an action skill build regarding the rack to start, and it was kinda good, but at the same time it was kinda weird, because it felt like I would have power spikes, where when I had my rack charges I would do a ton of damage, and then I would have no actual gun damage, so there was no consistency. So what I decided to do was respec into the center tree and see if I could do things a little differently, maybe try and amp up the pet. And what I found is that the center tree actually amps you a lot, and I mean like a lot. So essentially, the way we're going to be utilizing this, you can use whatever pet you want. I'm using a skag because it gives you flat damage. If you're playing Fl4k, you get a choice of 3 pets. You can get one with percent life regeneration, one with flat damage, and one with movement speed. Now, this one's ranged, this one is melee, and the other one here is melee as well. So this one is what I'm going with, and you can get augments for them as well once you get later down the tree. This one gives me gun damage, so that's just kind of a standard go-to. The other one gives fire rate. I think it's very good as well. I haven't messed around with this one as much personally. I've just gone for as much flat damage as possible, and you'll see why as I kind of go down the tree. So these augments are unlocked once you put in points at this point across here. They'll unlock farther down. You can have 2 action skill augments, 1 pet augment, and then your 1 action skill. You can mix and match, but we're sticking mostly to the blue tree in regards to this. So obviously we got the Skag, and you can attack command him to vomit on someone, which does corrosive damage, so you don't need to run a corrosive weapon if you don't want to. And then we have our action skill, which creates a rift at target location, teleporting your pet through the rift and dealing radiation damage to nearby enemies. Now, another thing about this is your pet becomes irradiated, growing in size and dealing bonus damage, but using Gamma Burst while your pet is downed or dead will instantly revive it, and will double the action skill cooldown time, which kind of sucks, but if your pet dies, you don't have to run over and res it, you can just snap it up with Gamma Burst. So let me show you how that works. Essentially, say my pet's like all the way over here, and I want to throw him into combat, right? I want to throw him down there. I can use that, and I can teleport him all the way down there, and he will become the big boy, as you see there, and he'll pop off and start doing damage to everything. I'm gonna give him a good little pet because he's a good boy. He's the goodest boy. So yeah, he gets very angry and he does a ton of damage, and you can see this thing lasts for a long time. You can see that bar down at the middle of the screen there. It lasts for a very long time. You can see I'm also glowing as well. We will get to that in just a second. So that gives our pet a bunch of damage, and we're going to be augmenting that further and further as we go through. This is the bread and butter of where this build comes from. It's half pet, half you, with a lot of augments going towards your flat damage. So to start off, the first thing I took was Persistent Hunter, giving us increased gun damage and action skill duration to make Gamma Burst last insanely long, which is 20 seconds, the cooldown's 30 seconds, so that's pretty nice. Then we take Pets deal increased damage, which is just kind of a filler. You can go for the eyes if you want. It gives them 1 automatic crit hit, but 50% pet damage is just better, I think, in my opinion. You can also go 2 points and then move your way down here if you want to. I'm not too sure how effective the pet actually is. He seems to do pretty decently, but I don't know if maxing him out is actually like worth it. You know, I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. Then I pop 1 point into Who Rescued Who to make it so whenever Flak's pet deals damage, Flak regenerates health for a few seconds, and whenever I deal damage to an enemy, my pet's health is restored for a portion of the damage dealt. This is just a little bit of extra health regeneration. I do have a Siren playing with me who is using healing stuff. If you're playing solo, you can put more points into this to get upwards of like 2 to 3% health regeneration, and this will solve your problem of dying, so that's very nice. Moving over, the other stuff I don't really take. He Bites isn't really that great. It's damage reflect. I guess it could be okay, but it's not really something I go for. Frenzy, though. Frenzy is fantastic. When Flak's pet deals damage, Flak and their pet gain a stack of Frenzy. Each stack of Frenzy increases damage, and the stacks decay after a few seconds. So while your pet's going around doing damage, you're just getting stacks built and built and built and built, and your damage is just going up. We're stacking primarily for gun damage. Keep this in mind. We're going for getting a very good weapon, like a Jacobs or a Doll or something like that, and just pushing it as much as we can to get good, consistent damage throughout most of the game. Frenzy gets you there quite heavily. Then we have Psycho Head on a stick, which whenever Flak kills an enemy, their pet gains increased movement speed and damage for a few seconds. Normally this is halved, this is 10%, 12%, and 4 seconds. I have a class mod that doubles it. You can get class mods for 1-pointers. It's fucking incredible, by the way. You also don't have to have the point allocated. You can have this allocate the 1-pointer in a different tree if you want to, from what I've experienced so far. So say I wanted to get like 2-Fang or something, I can get a 2-Fang class mod, and I will have the points in 2-Fang. It's kind of fucking insane, but still. So that is a good one-pointer, obviously, pick that up. And then we come down to Barbaric Yop here, which increases the power of pet bonuses granted to Fl4k. I need to put another point in this. This should be 5 out of 5. So that increases your gun damage from this bonus, as well as some of the other stuff here, the pet damage, all these other sorts of things. And then we come down to pick up Pack Tactics, and all damage dealt by Fl4k and your pet is increased. Additionally, the max health of both you and your pet is increased. We're going to put 3 points there. And we put a point into Shared Spirit. While Fl4k is at low health, a portion of all damage they take is shared to their pet instead. Stops us from going down, because we can revive our pet, and we can revive our pet with Gamma Burst. As well as we have that bit of healing from Who Rescued Who, so we can heal the pet, we can heal ourselves, that sort of stuff. This might need more points in it through more practice. Now, where this starts to really get insane, we have very good gun damage from Frenzy, and from the other node here that just gives us flat gun damage. But where this starts to get really funny is in the Augments. For the duration of Gamma Burst, damage dealt by Fl4k is increased by 20%. There's a reason I call this the Beastial Wrath build, because Beastial Wrath's an ability in World of Warcraft that gives your hunter and your hunter pet like 40% increased damage for its duration. It pretty much plays the exact same. So while your Gamma Burst is on and your pet's enraged, you're also enraged, doing a ton of damage. When we get Endurance, which goes down a little bit farther here, when Fl4k or Fl4k's pets kill an enemy while Gamma Burst is active, the duration of Gamma Burst is extended, and pet damage is increased. These effects can stack up to 5 times. You get plus 3 seconds per kill for a total of 15 extra seconds on your Gamma Burst, which it already lasts 20 seconds, so it can last longer than the fucking cooldown. It could last 35 seconds, which is incredible. Keep in mind, I'm only level 25, so this sort of middle tree stuff gets even better. Even better. It's kind of insane, because you can spec as you go later into the game, into the right side to try and get some insane damage, into the left side if you want more survivability. If endgame's kind of abusing you, you can go down this side if you want to. You can maybe even opt for a different style of pet. Maybe you want to go for one of the gun pets here and take the skag off. That's a possibility as well, if that's something you're looking to go for. There's crit hit damage there, you've got max health there, and then over here we have an incendiary pet and damage reduction. This pet's actually quite nice when you start off the game to get the health regeneration, if you're like just starting off on Fl4k. As well as he does a little animation where he slams his head on the floor, and it would keep playing during cutscenes, and it had my whole squad laughing their ass off. It was fantastic. So for comedic value and for early leveling, I'd recommend just taking Spider Ant as a pet until you get down into lower stuff here. But all in all, the middle tree gets a lot of mileage while leveling, as it's kind of the most consistent and the most efficient I've found so far. I tried to play the rack build. It worked, but I played it early on, so I didn't get to invest in like the additional rack and the additional charges thing. I think I would take like these two and just go wild with that. This is more of an end game tree, I think, because you need to be able to get to like the bottom point, so you can score a crit anywhere and start to get extra mileage out of that. And I do still want to play a cloak build where you get Gorillas in the Mist to get crit hits from pretty much anywhere, and you just use an assault rifle, and for 8 seconds you just pummel crit hits into something and just go wild. I do want to make a build around that, but I don't think that would be as consistent or as reliable personally. We still have to see on that one. Obviously you would be very tanky in this tree, but yeah. So in regards to class mods and a little bit of trickery before I get you into a bit of gameplay for this, there actually is a class mod I would recommend looking for. Now, funnily enough, not the one that I've got. I have the one that gives me the pet bonus as well as weapon reload speed. It also gives me Sick'em and Eager to Impress, which is in the left side tree. This gives me attack command, has lowered cooldown and increased damage. I'll be honest with you, I don't use the attack command very often. It can be useful, it can be situationally good, but I don't really use it very often. It's kind of weird. I just press my action skill and then I shoot things. And then we have Eager to Impress, which is whenever Fl4k kills an enemy, action skill time is reduced. This is something I'm going to go into this tree to pick up, guaranteed. This is definitely the side tree for this build, I think, because Furious Attack is something you really want, even as like a 1 point type thing, I kind of want to put 1 point into it now just to get the bonus gun damage. Because what this does is after shooting an enemy, Flak gains a stack of Furious Attack. For each stack of Furious Attack, that actually rhymes, Flak's gun handling and gun damage are increased. Stacks decay after a few seconds. What I did for the longest time was I had a class mod that gave me +1 into this, which meant that I got this just straight off. It was 0 out of 5, and the class mod made it 1 out of 5, and actually talented it for me. So as a result, I was able to get a ton of damage out of that, because it's just extra gun damage, and if you're using an SMG, this stacks really quickly. If you're using a pistol, not so much. So for my masher, it would stack rather slowly, but for my rifle, it shoots 6 shots in a quick succession. That would stack pretty much instantly. Alongside Eager to Impress, which is whenever you kill something, your action skill is reduced. Then I'm using Gamma Burst that much more often. Part of me almost wants to split up like a hybrid build where I cut it off at like this point and I put the rest of the points into Furious Attack and Eager to Impress, because I don't know how good the bottom node of Dominance is going to be, which allows you to establish dominance over an enemy, turning it into an ally for a short time. This is anything, by the way. The enemy is a beast, the duration's doubled, so you can like just tame a Mega Goliath and just have him run around with you. So that's gonna be eventful. If there's like a constructor, I can just be like, yeah, you're mine now, and it just destroys everything. I hope. We'll see. It also changes the dynamic of combat to make it so you don't really want to target the biggest enemy to start. You want to tame the biggest enemy, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm loving Fl4k so far, and I hope you guys are enjoying the game. I definitely am. I'm having a fantastic time. A little bit of problems in regards to slight performance issues, and we've run into a couple of bugs, and I mean like a couple, probably about 10 or 15 so far, as well as a few hard crashes, but I'll talk about that more in my early thoughts. And for now, I'm going to put you into a little bit of gameplay. Keep in mind, I've been playing this build in a 3-stack. The gameplay is going to be in 2s because our third left, and I wanted to just record a little bit for you. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy that, and let the gameplay roll. Take care, gentlemen.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Thanks for making it to the end of my video. If you enjoyed it, take a look at the 2 pieces of content you're seeing on screen right now. If you wouldn't mind, you can click that big red button and see more updates from me. And if you want to go even further than that, then you can take a look in the description to find my new Patreon link. You boys gotta keep the lights on somehow.